From Lalate News headquarters in Santa Monica, this is the Midday Report on Lalate.
It's a big noontime here on LLA with incredible great news about your fourth stimulus check update of 2021. In today's recording, we'll go over that monthly stimulus check and why the Democrats are likely to give you more months of checks. Then we cut to the recon. Done deal. $3.5 trillion of checks are coming to you, and if you've been pouncing as a Purple Hawk under third stimulus, you're going to pounce under fourth stimulus. Lots of checks for the viewers across the board. Then we cut to the voting process and why it's going to be done quicker and easier to get that tow truck over the finish line than initially thought. Then we cut to fifth stimulus and the breaking news across the board. Stay to the final 15 minutes of this video with a lot of breaking news happening. Then we cut to the big money as viewers continue to get $20,000, $30,000, $50,000, and in this recording, meet one viewer who now got over $100,000 from this channel for rented utilities. I have all the incredible great details, and it's right now on Noontime. Hey, good noontime, everybody. I hope you're having a beautiful day across the board. Hope your Sunday has been gorgeous. You know, it's been good so far here in Los Angeles. I was worried that it was going to get too warm, but it's staying in touch. I sent my prayer beads to the weather gods to keep the weather in check. So jump on the live chat. Tell me where you're tuning in from and how's the weather where you are today. In this fourth stimulus check update of 2021 today, a lot of breaking news. First, we'll go over those monthly stimulus checks and why the Democrats are likely to give you more months of checks. Then we cut to the recon and why the viewers of this channel who have now learned how to get big sums of money on a third stimulus are ready to pounce because fourth stimulus, $3.5 trillion of checks are for you, and most of them are application-based. I'm going to show you how the Purple Hawks are ready to pounce and get this big money on a fourth stimulus. Then we go to the breaking news as the path is upon us, faster and easier than initially thought for the passage of the fourth stimulus. Then we turn to fifth stimulus, which heats up in just a few days, raises your benefits up if you're on SSI and SSDI. And I'll explain the differences of COLA versus inflation because they've been talking about COLA lately. And then we turn to the big money across the board as viewers continue to get $5, $10, $15, $20,000. Then they started getting $30,000. Then they're getting $50,000 with Mark. And then in this recording, you'll meet a new viewer, Lorraine, who got over $100,000 from this channel as a Purple Hawk. And this, my friends, is Lalate, America's only 24-hour a day, 7 days a week financial news channel in America. Live in the morning like right now and taped in the afternoons. Coming up next is Afternoons Lalate at 1 o'clock. A throwback show automatically takes you there after this video's over. You don't have to lift a finger. Sort of like a Chuck Schumer. Then at 3 o'clock is Afternoons Lalate's new show, taped minutes ago. Then Evenings Lalate at 5 o'clock. So subscribe. 400,000 subscribers, a YouTube record. Thank you for all the incredible subscriber growth over the last few days. Hit that subscribe button right now. Like the video, 3,000 likes, and consider becoming a member so you can pounce and get all this application-based money under third stimulus and slated for fourth stimulus. Let's go to that fourth stimulus starting right now. Senate versus House, House versus Senate, monthly stimulus check. When you look at them, they're both monthly and they both pay out, but they pay different amounts across the board. House versus Senate. House is pandemic plus 1 year. Senate, July to December. Let's go over the monthly payouts. $1,000 a month for the House. Senate, unknown. But word on the street is the Senate would pay you this. Deliciousness. $2,000 over 6 months, $12,000. Or $1,400 over 6 months, $8,400. Well, you heard the news. If you've not heard it, New York City, starting tomorrow, Monday morning, will require vaccination cards to go inside to certain indoor businesses. San Francisco is the next city. LA is expected to come shortly thereafter. Pandemic is not over. That means that the House bill would pay you more than 1 year of checks, which would be more than 12 checks, which would mean more than $13,000. Compare that to this and the Senate. I think you have an opinion. Jump on the live chat right now and vote House of Senate, and tell me where you're tuning in from And how's the weather? Who gets this fourth stimulus check? You do. Democrats represent that if you got a third, you get a fourth. Democrats represent single individuals, 75,000 or less, you get a fourth stimulus check. Married couple, 150,000 less, Democrats represent, you get a fourth stimulus check, double it. Family of four, Democrats represent, you get a fourth stimulus check, quadruple it. And if you're on benefits, Democrats represent, you get a fourth stimulus check. The fourth stimulus check is not income, it's not taxable. And the fourth stimulus check would be the same amount for adult dependents and everyone else. And finally, the fourth stimulus check is not a waivable check. So if you do get invited to Mitch's Lobster Fest again every Sunday afternoon and you walk in because you love lobster, but not so much Mitch, and you see the check in the jacuzzi, don't wave at the check. It's just a soggy, wet check in a jacuzzi. It's not a waivable check. Clearly it's not a waivable check because it's a Mitch's party. He does not like waivable checks, so don't wave at the check. In the second half of this video, we'll be cutting to fourth stimulus and why $3.5 trillion of checks for the American people is incredible deliciousness. Biggest payout we've ever seen in the history of this channel, but it's mostly application-based. And as a Purple Hawk, you're ready to pounce and get that big money for it because you've learned the skill set already. Then we turn to the final 15 minutes of this video. Stay to the very end. A lot of breaking news about the voting path, and the voting times, and the lack of resistance. Quicker, faster, and easier than initially thought. It's happening new at noontime. Then we cut to the fifth stimulus, which raises your benefits up at lifetime if you're on SSI and SSDI. That's coming up later in this video. But first, let's get some money. Get a pen and paper ready because we're going to get some money for rent, utilities, food, and internet. This is third stimulus, and it's application-based, and you have been killing it. I said initially for rent, you get 4 to 6 months of rent, about $5,000. You've been killing it because you've been getting a lot more. How much more have viewers been getting? Are you ready? Here we go. Bam! $27,000 for Elizabeth. Wow. A Purple Hawk, a Purple Mauer member. Incredible, Elizabeth. Mark, $25,000 he got for rent. In fact, Mark tells me he told his neighbor, hey, watch that kid, Lalate, he's the real deal. And his neighbor went from no money for rent to $20,000 for rent in just a few days. Nancy, $24,000 for rent. Richard, $22,000 for rent. Niecy, $20,000 for rent. If you have a success story, send it to me private messenger on Instagram, Twitter, or Facebook. And here are the messages coming in. Gonzalez from California tells me he got $8,000 for rent. Great job, Gonzalez. Pamela tells me she got $12,000 for rent. Carla, $1,700 for utilities and other monies for SNAP. Tiffany got $13,000 for rent and some money for SNAP and some money for utilities. Randy got $6,000 for rent and some other money for utilities. Jennifer got $5,000 for rent and some other money for lights and extra money on SNAP. And Cecilia tells me she got $1,200 for HEAP. That's a heap of heap. That's a heap of heap. And with those utilities, how much are people getting for utilities? It's not a few bucks. It is ready for this. Bam. Wow. $7,000 for Nancy. That's a heap of heap. Mark, $6,500 for utilities. And Angela, there's Mark and there's Nancy again. Twice we've seen them. Are they going to go for that triple crown on this channel, trying to get 3 items? Let's turn to Snap. Snap is money for food. How much does it pay? It pays a lot. How much is it paying, viewers? Let's see the deliciousness for some food. OMG, Louie, you killed it. $18,000. John, $10,000 to $12,000. And there's Nancy again. Oh, she's going for that triple crown, $5,000. Let's look at the triple crown. The people who got rent, utilities, food, and internet. Are you ready? Can we hear some drum roll? Bam. Wow, Nancy, 3 items, $32,000. Niecy, 3 items, $23,000. And Mark, 2 items, $32,000. Wait, this is a graphic for 3 items, Mark. How did you get in there? Mark, at 2 items at $32,000. How'd you get on that graphic? Well, this is what happened. I had been recording for about 7 days on air, saying to Mark, you got 2 items at $32,000, but you didn't get Snap. And Snap is a snap. That's why they call it Snap. It's just a snap. Go get it. I said, go get some Snap, because guess what? If you get some Snap, then maybe you get to 40,000. We love 40,000. Has a lot of zeros in it. We love checks that have lots of zeros. So Mark went and got some rent. How much rent? Some Snap. How much Snap do you think Mark got? 1,000, 5,000, 8,000. Maybe he got 8,000. Well, Mark got more than that, and he got it in just a few days. How much Snap do you think Mark got? Mark got, from being a Purple Hawk and a viewer of this channel, $19,000 for Snap, bringing his grand total to $50,500. And this is Lalate. This is what we've been doing since day one. In spring of last year, people had applied for EIDL grants and EIDL loans, and their applications were clogged in a vortex, which I affectionately named and dubbed on this channel the 330, the 331, and the 48 vortex viewers. If you're one of them or remember it, jump in the live chat, say, I remember that. Well, it was application based, and someone needed to get their applications approved. I launched this channel to get their applications approved. Doing their applications on air, doing their applications off air in private messaging in the thick of night every night, doing sometimes 10 approvals a day at $150,000 a pop, $25 million of applications I got approved with you together. Then in saving their business, their homes, and the employees' homes. Then involves second stimulus was being passed, but it was not sending out the stimulus check. So I said, let's get some application-based money, $250,000. Tyrone and his family 4 out of Boston got $15,000 for rent at a time, at which getting rent for Boston was hard. And he did it. He pounced as a Purple Hawk with that application. And now you are killing it. So get a pen and paper ready. I thought that Mark was the highest of high we can go on people picking up the phone, calling and getting rent, utilities, food, and internet and Snap. I was wrong. Are you ready to meet the highest of the high I've ever seen? Introducing Lorraine, who got $105,000, $640 for rent, including rent in the future, money for food, and additional sums of money. And this is the benefit of becoming a Purple Hawk and watching and a subscriber to this channel. Get a pen and paper ready, because today is your day to be the next Lorraine. We're going to get some rent, utilities, food, internet, mortgage assistance, and homeowners utilities. And I'm going to show you how to get that with 6 places of applying in just a second. But first, here's some important introductory comments. Number 1, reach out to each of the place. If you get a no, reach out to the next. I had Sandy in the live chat yesterday saying I reached out to one, I got no. I said, Sandy, did you reach out to the other 5? No, I didn't. So keep on reaching out. Number 2, each place has different eligibility. So if one says no, reach out to the next. Tina said she had reached out to one, but said she didn't qualify. I said reach out to the rest because they have different eligibility. They also have different pots of money. Number 3, there's not a single state in the United States that doesn't pay money. Every single state pays money. Number 4, don't create your own eligibility disqualifications in your brain cells. For example, they have no money for guys that wear red shirts in front of surfboards. Who told you that? Have you called them all? No, untrue. So don't say, I don't qualify because I'm old. Wrong. I don't qualify because I'm single. Wrong. I don't qualify because I have a job. Wrong. I don't qualify because my rent is expensive. I actually had one of you get his rent paid at $1,400 a pop. I don't qualify because I'm in the state of whatever. Wrong. Keep on pushing, because that money is all there for you. And so let's get that bottom money right now and listen to those keywords the viewers tell me. It really helps them get approved. You're going to reach out to your city hall, your city housing authority, your county hall, your county housing authority, your state hall, your state housing authority. And the keywords you're going to say are rent assistance because of COVID, mortgage or utility assistance because of COVID. And there you go. You got it. You can do this. And just don't say words they don't know, like stimulus or Mitch's wonderful time on Fantasy Island, where he was just in the fantasy. And can we top that? Yes. And if you got money for rent or utilities, post in the live chat. Todd got it, and also Linda got it. Let's turn to some Snap. Snap is money for food. Eligibility is a Snap. It's easier than it's easier than a stimulus check. Lynn Glenn got it for herself, her son, and a mom. Gail got it as well. John got $10,000 to $12,000. Mark got $18,000 and Louis got $18,000 and Mark got $19,000. What is Snap? It's money for food. Eligibility, you reach out to the Department of Agriculture to get it. How much does it pay? A fortune. A family of 4 out of Hawaii gets upwards of $16,000 a year. Wow, why so much money? Because of 2 wonderful executive orders, one from Biden, one from Trump, that raise your benefits up 15% between now and December. So go get Snap. If you got Snap, post in the live chat right now, and we're killing it. We are only 14 minutes of this video, and we've gotten $27,000 for rent, $19,000 for Snap, $9,000 for utilities, and we're just getting started. The next pot of the money is the money coming back from your states due to overpayment of computer error of unemployment benefits. Federal government has ordered this returned to you. One viewer got $3,000 for this, another viewer got $5,000. Contact your state to track it. Call up your state, say, hi state, I want to track on a computer with you where that check is due to computer error. Oh, really? Yes. Can you turn on the computer? And why do you sound like sirloin? It really helps when you turn on the computer. And the last spot of the money is the money coming back from your federal government. One viewer cracked up when I said it does sound like Sir Light. The refund check coming back from the federal government. Mark got it, Kyle got it, Michael got it. How much is it? Wow, it's a waivable check. I know, Mitch, that makes you really upset every time you hear those words. It's a waivable check, and the average payout is somewhere between $1,200 or more. Mark got $1,400 for it, and it's landing this month. More about that in a second. But here's a personal message. You're doing a great job. But if you're in the live chat and you've not posted success stories for rent, utilities, and Snap or internet, do it because you help other people. The spirit of this channel is me helping people get applications approved since day one, whether it was EIDL loans or EIDL grants. They had an application on file, it wasn't getting approved, and then I get it approved, they get $150,000. And that is why you are really doing a great job refocusing. Here's what's important for you to know, is that third stimulus is fortunes of money. And now you realize people are not getting $100 from third stimulus or a measly single $1,400 stimulus check. You realize now that people are getting massive sums of money. That's number one. Number two, you realize that the whole notion of I have no kids, I'm a senior, I'm in a bad state, that's all wrong. That's false narratives. Now you see that people are inspiring to realize that was all wrong and that was incorrect information. You are eligible for this money. Go get it. Pick up the phone. It takes an effort to pick up the phone, and now you're being inspired. So post your success stories in the live chat because it inspires other people to pick up the phone and call and get that big money and keep on calling. Number one, a lot of people never knew that utilities are paid for by the federal government. Number two, a lot of people don't know that Snap exists. Larry Maui never heard of Snap before this channel launched, and he got $500 a month, a single individual in Miami. Number three, Art Sullivan and Nisi got 3 items as the Triple Crown winners, and they inspired Nancy to get 3 items. Mark got 2, and then he got inspired to get 3. And then you're updating us about the numbers. We're realizing the numbers are going bigger and bolder than we ever thought. Let's go back to those unemployment benefits. Where are they landing? Direct deposit, otherwise in the mail. How can you track them? Go to irs.gov and do a transcript search. And 70% of the time it'll work. It'll reveal the refund check you're getting, and also, first of all, it'll reveal the tax return you filed and the taxes you paid. But 70% of the time, it'll reveal stuff you never wish to have seen. Like when Kristen Sinema did the bipartisan bill, did she have to, go to Nancy Pelosi's hairstylist to get it approved? And finally, it'll reveal the refund check you're getting back from IRS. Boy, can we top that? Yes, as we go into the second part of your 4 stimulus check update of 2021, starting right now. Deal done. This week, the Senate passed the recon procedural. $3.5 trillion for the American people of checks. Why is this so huge? Let's go over why this is big. The first stimulus package was this big. The second stimulus package was this big. Third was this big. The fourth is this big. The prior stimulus packages, nearly 95% of it was money for U.S. corporations. This stimulus package, Zippo for U.S. corporations, all for you. This is why there's so much money in there. And I'm really excited for you because if you've pounced as a purple hawk and realized how to get big money or any money, whether it's $10 or $10,000, under second stimulus or third stimulus with me, when fourth stimulus becomes law, you're going to do so well because most of the money in fourth stimulus is application-based, and you've already developed that skill set going into fourth stimulus. How do they do this? Well, they did this by taking roads and bridges out of fourth stimulus and put it into something called bipartisan. The president has now made clear he has to have both bipartisan on his desk in the White House and your recon at the same time. He will not sign into law one piece of legislation. Both have to be there. A conservative publication confirms in my reporting that says the higher the price tag was on the recon before, the harder it was to pass. There you go. But by allowing the Democrats to take out some of the spending from the recon, roads and bridges, put into the bipartisan, the overall price tag of the recon became smaller, obviously. In other words, the bipartisan deal made the recon passable. And they've now both passed the Senate. Next stop for the House. Now, here's something you're only going to hear on this channel, which is that the Democrats had been meeting with the White House far before this to discuss a price tag of the recon. And those meetings included House Democrats, not just Senate Democrats. So when this legislation lands in the House, it's easy breezy, smooth sailing from here because they've already agreed upon the price tag of $3.5 trillion. Representative Richie Torres, Democrat in New York, had said that we have to have a larger recon. You got it, Richie, $3.5 trillion. passed. Congratulations. Representative Elon Omar says we have to have a recon that goes as far as we want it. You got it, Elon. 3.5 trillion passed. The White House had been telling the progressives protect the recon because everything in there is checks for the American people of progressive nature. And this is why Jalapal and Schatz told the American people that the White House had said to them, the White House considers the progressive priorities in the recon its priorities. So what is a recon? What is a bipartisan? What is a recon procedural? What is a recon substantive? Let me go over all the details. You're only going to see the scope of depth of reporting on this channel, and it starts right now. It's important to know the difference between recon and bipartisan because guess what? Again, both pieces of legislation have to land on the president's table at the same time. So recon versus bipartisan. Recon is your money, also called reconciliation, also called the budget bill. Price tag 3.5 trillion. Other terminology for it are the progressive spending plan or the Democratic spending plan or the progressive welfare assistance plan. Whenever you hear Republicans trash talking it, they're talking about spending because guess what? It's all spending. It's checks on the American people. Checks for the American people. Bipartisan, not your money. This is roads and bridges, also called infrastructure. Price tag 1.5 trillion. Okay. Now let's go over the three different bills we got to do. Recon procedural, recon substantive, and bipartisan. What's the difference between recon procedural and recon substantive? I'm getting into that right now. Recon procedurals were passed in the Senate this week. It's very, very simple. It only asks two questions. Do you agree to do a recon at a later date of a price tag of 3.5 trillion? Total price tag. I do. And do you agree that of that money, $10 will be given to this congressional committee to figure out how to spend it, and $10 to that committee and $20 this committee? I agree. That's all it says. Total price tag and how much to each committee. And there you go. That's recon procedural. Recon substantive comes after they pass recon procedural. And that's where we look at each of the committees. Now that a committee has $10, then the question is, how is a committee going to spend that $10? And so the recon substantive goes over how to spend the $10, who gets it, where they get it, how they get it, and when they get it. And that becomes the embodiment of what is the recon substantive bill. Who writes that bill? Written by subcommittees under the House. Under the Constitution, each subcommittee is delegated different subject matters. For example, House Ways and Means, unemployment, and stimulus checks. When each of those subcommittees are done, let's say it's 10 subcommittees with 10 pages, they send them up to Chuck, combine it, 100 pages. He puts a big S on it. For Schumerish, no. For Senate, but in this case, it may be an H. For her? Yeah, for her. House. It may go to the House. Ooh, why? That's coming up in the final 15 minutes of this video. Stay to the very end. How do we get to this wonderful spot? By Jalapal, who recently wrote Schumer a letter saying Chuck called the vote on the recon. Well, he did, and the recon passed. Step 1 of the Senate. That letter was signed by 12 House Democrats, part of 100 plus, yes, 100, who wrote the president a letter recently saying, we're going to be putting monthly forced stimulus checks in the forced stimulus recon. Can we top that? We can. As 7 members of the House Ways and Means Subcommittee recently wrote the president a letter saying, we're going to be putting monthly forced stimulus checks in the forced stimulus package. Wow, Purple Power. You got to push on social media, seats for stimulus to ensure they keep their promise to you. Can we top that? We can, as the president did it. Biden did it. 7 weeks ago, he went overseas for a ceremonial signature. The real signature is a few days ago. It's for something that is no longer needed in recon, which is great because now it's easier to do the recon. What is this confusing thing called that he signed? The global minimum corporate tax rate. Yawn. Now that thing is not in the recon. Making it 1, easier to write the recon. 2, easier to call the vote on the recon. Easier to vote on the recon and easier to pass the recon because this confusing thing is not in there. Can we top that? Yes. As we go into the final 15 minutes of this video, a lot of breaking news as why the path will be easier and faster than initially thought to pass the recon. But more importantly, we will go over how you as a Purple Hawks are ready to pounce because there's $3.5 trillion of checks in there that are application-based. I'll go over how you're ready to pounce more than anyone else to get those application-based checks because if you got money under third stimulus, you're going to get a fortune under fourth stimulus. And then we cut to fifth stimulus as well. But first, if you've tried to get the money for rent, utilities, and food or internet and cannot find it. Remember, always try to do it yourself because I want you to develop the skill set to be able to at least get one item. But if you can't get it, reach out to the volunteers. Where are they? They're on the community page. It's news.lalate.com/community. How do you find them? Open the description of this video. Go down in the description. You'll see an emoji of a house. Click the link. It'll send you over to the community page. It's news.lalate.com/community. On there, the volunteers will help you get that money for rent, utilities, food, or internet if you try to find it and can't. Here's a little bit about them, and I'll be back with you with the breaking news as the final 15 heats up on Noontime. If you want money right now, not 5 days from now, and not 5 weeks from now, then reach out to the community page. The volunteers can help you find that money for rent and utilities. That's at news.la.com/community. The community page features a series of volunteers who are viewers like you. They can help you find rent, utilities, SNAP, food benefits, mortgage assistance, and help you with eviction moratorium questions as well. Their Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram individuals reach out to them and indicate the city and state you're from, and they'll get back to you shortly. That's a community page. Volunteers working for you, viewers helping one another. Stay with LA for more. Join Lalate Daily for the excitement of the new Lalate live daily. The excitement starts on mornings Lalate at 9 a.m. Home Lalate returns at 11 a.m. daily. And then afternoons Lalate at 1 p.m. Join us daily as the excitement continues live from Santa Monica on Lalate. And the excitement continues right now on Noontime Lalate as we go into the final 15 minutes at noontime. Real big, exciting news across the board as forced stimulus is heading to the finish line quicker and easier than initially thought. Moreover, we'll go over how to get the big sums of money. If you got it in a third, you're going to know how to do it under fourth. So subscribe. 400,000 subscribers, a YouTube record. I want you part of this family. Hit that subscribe button right now. Thank you for all the incredible subscriber growth across the board in the last few days. Like the video. Every like helps. Helps in the algorithm rankings. 3,000 likes. And consider becoming a Purple Hawk, Purple Power, or Calcino VIP member so you get access to all the incredible information so you know how to get this big money. Meantime, let's turn to what the president did and didn't do after his time on the campaign trail. He promised to raise your benefits up for SSI and SSDI and VA benefits. And while that has not yet happened, it's happening in just a few days as the fifth stimulus heats up. What's fifth stimulus? Congressional leaders from the Democratic Party are promising to do this in fifth stimulus, which is just a few days away. It's the SSI reform. Starts legislating about September. To a vote they represent by November. They represent they'll have this out the door by November, hitting your hitting your benefits, and then the benchmark will be applied in December for next year. Step one, they'll remove your asset limits. Step two, add a new benefits limits, add inflationary benchmark, remove the marriage penalty, and remove the income exclusion. Let's go over all the details of this starting right now. Who gets this? You too. If you're on SSI, SSDI, Social Security, railroad benefits, veterans benefits, SSA, or multiple beneficiaries. First thing they'll do is raise your benefits up a lifetime. Then they'll apply a new benchmark. That new benchmark is inflation. Yes, I know there's reports out about how COLA is going to be raising your benefits next year at 6%. You want that COLA thrown to the curb. That COLA has been horrible for decades. It doesn't do anything for anyone. And 6% in the middle of inflationary time is Zippo. That doesn't cut it. That's why they're getting rid of COLA and replacing it with inflation. Where's inflation going to go? It's going to be transitory by December, says Jay Powell, head of the Federal Reserve. What does transitory mean? It means a spike. How much of a spike? I've been reporting maybe 5%. So let's do the analysis. First, they raise your benefits up one time. Step two, they apply a new benchmark. That new benchmark is inflation at 5% potentially. So that means your benefits would go up another 5%, not just next year, lifetime. Because once your benefits step up, they never step down. So the inflation rate is 2% the year after that, you'll be plus 2, plus 5%. Then they're going to remove the asset cap, dating back to a 1980s law that says you can't have $3,000 on hand. It'll go away, and now you'll be able to have some beautiful STL Cardinal Red in your hand, Crayola crowns. Sorry, Canute. They're going to remove the income cap, dating back to a 1960s law that says you can't work and stay on benefits. And finally, the marriage penalty is going to go away. Love is going to win, and you'll be able to do the pair dance like Rob and Sandy at their wedding and no longer fear loss of benefits. If your benefits were canceled, they'll be restored. Meantime, is there a fifth stimulus check? There is. Those House Ways and Means Committee members represent. Finally, if you're on the live chat, and you see people that have Purple Hawk emojis next to their name and you don't have one, what are you doing? You need to join. Go under the video where it says join here and become a member to become a Purple Hawk, Purple Power, or Calcino VIP. Daily, I deliver from you via the YouTube community page a breakdown of all the big money that's available for you under second stimulus, under third stimulus law, and proposed under fourth stimulus and proposed under fifth stimulus. Here is how the Purple Hawks have been killing it. In fall of 2020, when there was a $600 stimulus check, it was not yet coming out. And I said, I want to show you how to apply and get the big money for rent. And that's how viewers got $250,000. Tyrone got $15,000 in December in Boston for a family of four at a time in which it was hard to get money for rent in Boston. He pounces a Purple Hawk. In January this year, I launched the Purple Hawks, which basically describes the following. Most of the biggest payouts in these stimulus packages is for application-based checks. Lots of checks. And Purple Hawks have now learned, I'm not going to sit back and wait and for something to land in my hand as the donut's in my other hand and I'm watching Seinfeld on TV. No, I'm going to pounce as a Purple Hawk and apply for this big money because this is where the big money is. I said at the time, $5,000, $10,000, $15,000, $20,000 money right now, not 5 days from now, not 5 weeks from now. That's what I said in January. And now Purple Hawks have been killing it. That's why Purple Hawks are not sitting back and wondering about that $1,400 stimulus check for the third stimulus package. $1,400 doesn't pale in comparison to $32,000 when you get rent, utilities, food, or internet. During the commercial break, there was a great comment by one viewer who said, "If you do you have to get all three items at the same location?" No, you get the items at different locations. So the rent is from one location, the SNAP is another. Utilities, you can have it from 3 different utility companies, depending if you have water, gas, and heating oil. So the Purple Hawks have learned to pounce because this is the big money. And guess what? Now that you're pouncing as a Purple Hawk under third stimulus, you're going to be ready to do it under fourth stimulus. And with that, let's start the final 15 of this video, starting right now. Deal done. $3.5 trillion of checks are coming to the American people under fourth stimulus recon. Fourth stimulus recon is a behemoth. It's enormous. The first stimulus package is this big. Second, this big. Third stimulus this. Fourth is this big. There's far more than enough room for a stimulus check in there. But most of the money in that fourth stimulus recon is application-based. The vast majority is application-based. And so if you have developed the skills from watching the videos, from being a Purple Hawk, learning and applying the skill set to apply and get $100 more a month for rent or $50 a month for SNAP, anything, any type of calling up the phone and learning how to do this and doing it, then you're ready to pounce as a Purple Hawk under fourth stimulus because it's going to be a lot more money and a lot of massive application-based checks. While we don't have the bill yet, here are some of the items that are in there. Let's go over some of the items that are proposed to be in there. Here we go. Free school meals for all checks, cheaper prescription medication checks, free internet checks, greener farming checks, lots of checks for seniors and workers, checks for workers, independent contractors, unions, and checks for seniors, dental, vision, hearing care, lower ineligibility age, and more. I love some of the comments I've been getting where viewers saying, how do I get those checks for dental? Not law yet, but I love a Purple Hawk that's pouncing before it's not law yet. You're just ready to pounce and get that big money. Let's now turn over to the process. The recon is now easier breezier than we initially thought and easier to get over the finish line. Here's what you need to know, is that article I talked about, I think on Thursday or Friday, where there's certain Democrats talking about certain things, they were talking about doing the roads and bridges before the recon. They weren't saying, I don't want the recon. So the article was not very clear. I reread it. They just said that I want to do the roads and bridges first. That's not going to help anyone. Why does that not do anything? Because the president says, hey, you have to have both bodies of legislation on my table. So doing one before the other doesn't help anyone. Let's go over the incredible great news, though, of why this is going to be smooth sailing going forward. Number one, recon procedural is easy breezy because the Democratic House members have already agreed upon the price tag. They were part of the discussions. So when this goes to the House, it's going to be an easy pass for recon procedural. That is on August 23rd. Recon procedural goes to the House for final vote, says Steny Hoyer, as a firm date. September 15th, recon substantive goes for a firm vote, says Leader Schumer. Asterisk, proposed House. Why proposed House? Well, there's new reports this week on the suggestion they may start on the House side, not on the Senate side. I love that. Why? Because the House subcommittees are writing the legislation. Number two, the House has a lot of, progressives that pay a lot of money. Number three, House members just pay more than senators. Number four, I like starting the House because they can give you more money, and then the senators can come with the vote-a-rama and add to it. And then 9:30 is a proposed date, not firm date, but a proposed date to get the recon done. All right, let's go to the recon substantive. So the recon substantive will determine how to spend the money. This is where you have to push Purple Power because they made representations to you of how they're going to spend the money. I brought back Seats for Stimulus. It's hashtag Seats, the number 4, stimulus. Our social media campaign, which I launched last year, which basically says to legislators, give us the right stimulus or we're taking your seats. And it's working. You've been doing a great job on social media, sharing these videos, tagging the elected officials with the hashtag Seats for Stimulus. Why is it working? Because the House majority held by the Democrats is not a lot. And with 6 seats up for re-election this election cycle in November, it could determine whether the House becomes far more Democratic or turns Republican. So this is really a big balance of power at issue. And guess what? They're back campaigning this week while they're dealing with you pushing back to say, hey, seats for stimulus. The message is heard loud and clear. Then next fall is the Senate seats. 34 of 100 are up for grabs. And that is that. Meantime, let's go back to the details of what the president says, Nancy says, and what's great news across the board. The president says I have to have both bodies of legislation on my desk at the same time. So that's great news. He's not going to sign the recon without the procedure. He's not going to sign the recon without the procedure, without the roads and bridges either. He has to have both the recon and the roads and bridges both on his desk. Now, here is why I'm really excited for you. In the last few days, you've been able to really refocus on understanding that the big sums of money in third stimulus, and even more so on fourth stimulus, are application-based. In 2020, I launched this channel because people had applied for EIDL loans and grants, and their applications were locked up in a vortex. They needed help and understanding, how do I get my application approved? I did that. Then on April 25th, when this channel launched, I said to viewers, the PUA program is about to go live in the nation. No one knew what PUA was except me and a few other people. And I said, this is how the PUA works. And this is how you apply on the unemployment side first, get denied for UI, and then you go over to PUA. I help people through the application process. Along the way, we stayed on subject with application. But along the path, there became some people who became really focused in their mind only on automatic checks where they hold their donut, watch TV reruns, and put their feet up. When is the check landing in my bank account automatically? And the government has never really been that way since the day this channel launched, but some people got very used to the whole notion of automatic checks. You've been very great, exceptionally great over the last 2 weeks to refocus and understand, wait a second, third stimulus is more than a $1,400 stimulus check. There was $20,000, $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 in there for you to get, and still available for you to get. And now you're realizing, wait a second, I need to get this money. This is money for me. I should have the rent and utilities and food and internet being paid by the federal government. Tina yesterday in one of the live chats said, I applied once, and I got denied. Viewer said, apply for the other place. She said, I'm doing it. Monday morning, I'm picking up the phone. I love that. And then Sandy in one of the live chats said, I applied for one, I got denied. And I said, Sandy, apply to the other ones. I'm going to do it. I'm going to go and apply. I love that. On early mornings LA 2 days ago, one viewer said, I'm in Mississippi. There's no money in Mississippi. 4 viewers were in the live chat from Mississippi. Said, I got approved for rent. Here's where you call. They all helped that viewer. And that viewer was inspired to go get the money. This is why this is huge, because third stimulus's biggest payouts, as you see in this channel, is application-based. You have to pick up the phone. You have to do something than just holding the donut saying, when is that automatic check landing in my hand? And why is this huge? Because third stimulus was this big, and fourth stimulus is this big. Fourth stimulus is a behemoth that most of the money in there is application-based. And if you've gotten one thing approved under third stimulus, I don't care if it's $10. I don't care if it's $10,000. If you pull the phone and you got approved for one thing, you have learned the skill to do that. This channel has helped give you that skill to do that. Just like how I help people with skills to get their loans approved last year or get their unemployment applications approved, you've gotten the skill. So when forced stimulus gets passed, together as a family, we're going to pounce as Purple Hawks, and get that $3.5 trillion of application-based money in there. They're the biggest payouts in that forced stimulus. Moreover, finally, I'm very excited about how people have been able to reassess their approach. And it's important to understand that I value your safety. So one of the messages, a personal message where I'm ending with in the last few days, and I'm going to continue in this video as well, is the following. You know, every YouTuber deals with the issue of safety on a channel. And one of the things you all always have heard a lot about are those people who slide into the comments and try to tell you, let me sell you something over WhatsApp in a foreign country and, you know, wire money and all these crazy things they try to slide in and impersonate people. I value your safety, and we all try to block those people, but those people keep on showing up. And along the way, then there's the other people that jump in the comments that are not subscribers, not members, and they see someone post something like, I'm 60 years old. Do I qualify for something? No, you don't. You're going to die. I mean, who are these people? Who are they? Freddy Krueger? I mean, who are these people? So I value your safety, and I also value you getting incorrect. I value that you get correct information. And as a result, you've seen over the last few days what I've been doing is I've been holding comments in the comment section of the video for review. So if you're a Purple Hawk member, your comments are likely to get approved by me. All manual, a lot of work. If you're a subscriber but not a Purple Hawk, they may get approved. If you're not a subscriber and not a Purple Hawk, they're not getting approved. It's the way that I value ensuring that your safety is protected from external third influences and to ensure that external persons that want to spread false narratives for you, whether this guy's not your president or crazy stuff, to ensure that you get the big sums of money. And you're doing such a great job. So for every viewer that once thought, I'm old, I don't qualify for something. I'm single, I don't qualify for something. I have a red shirt, I'm in front of a surfboard, I don't qualify for something. I have orchids behind me, I don't qualify for something. Untrue. You qualify for it, and you're going to get that big money on a third stimulus. And as a family together, we're going to get the big money under fourth stimulus as Purple Hawks, and everyone else is going to say, how'd they do that? Because we've developed the skill set together. And with that, stay on this video will automatically take you to Afternoons LA starting at 1 o'clock, just a little bit after this. And then a new Afternoons LA at 3 p.m. later this afternoon. And with that, subscribe. 400,000 subscribers, a YouTube record. I love you, part of this family. Thank you for all the incredible subscriber growth for the last few days. Hit that subscribe button right now. Like the video, 2,000-3,000 likes, and consider becoming a member of Purple Hawk so you learn about all this big money across the board. Stay informed, stay focused, keep on staying positive, stay informed, and also stay here as Afternoons LA starts in just about 40 minutes. Take care.